Hey, co-reporters, welcome back to my channel. It's time for another recap of Jersey Shore Family Vacation. Listen, I'm glad to be back into this show. Sammi being back brought me back, It's not that like I'm a Sammi stan or anything like that. I just want to see how she kind of like changes things, the dynamic and whatnot. Um, so let's get into it. So at the top of the show, she goes to her mother's house to get some advice on whether or not she really should return back to the show after all the trauma she went through in the past. And so when she talks about like, going through hardships in the past, they show a clip of her crying and Ron is like over her in the bedroom or whatever. And I'm pretty sure that was when they had the fight about like him making fun of her big toe or something like that. And it just reminded me of how insane some of these fights between Sam and Ron truly were. And I wonder how her big toe is doing today. So her mom ultimately kind of like, helps guide her towards deciding to come back to the Jersey Shore bubble. And so it's, all full steam ahead from here. Now, Mike and Vinny take the road trip together to go up to the cabin. And that man truly has a gambling problem, it seems like, and it makes me nervous for him. I feel bad for people who have like addictive personalities, right? Where they get addicted to something. For him, I think it was like, was it like steroids or was it like, it was like oxy type stuff, right? Like it was painkillers. So now that he's allegedly kicked that, like he's turning his attention onto gambling. I'm like, oh, it really sucks when you're not able to just do things in moderation, right? Like, God bless him. I hope he's able to get a handle on this eventually because it's costly. Like throughout this road trip, he spent at least $850 by the end. And poor Vinny was so irritated. Like you could tell he doesn't really like being around Mike. Even when he just went to Mike's house with the chicken cutlets that he cooked for like their dinner that night, like he was irritated. Like all Mike wanted was to taste one. And Vinny acted like it was the end of the world. He's like, oh no, but it's for the home. Like, oh, come on, let's, like that's when you don't like someone. Like if it's just your friend, like if any of my friends, I bring something to their house and they want to try it before we leave, I'd be more than happy to, right? Like to let them try it because why not? It's my friend. But you can tell Vinny does not like him. By the way, when I say that Mike allegedly, there's something about his face that is very swollen that kind of like worries me about what could potentially be going on there. I don't know if it's a health thing or if it's a substance thing, but there's something going on with his face. It's very swollen or very bloated or something, and that's never really a good sign. But anyway, I digress. So Sammi, she is riding up to the vacation house with Angelina and she gets to talking about like her beef with all the girls. So she has everybody covered, right? And when it comes to Dina, I was quite surprised to find out that Sam and Dina were once quite close. The problem, according to Sam anyway, is that Dina just stopped reaching out to her once. And so when she's like, I used to text her like, hey, how was your move? Happy birthday. Congratulations on this. Congratulations on that. But she just would never respond to me and never reach out either, which is like, definitely hurtful if you've got a friendship as close as Sammi claims that her friendship with Dina once was. And so the first thing that came to my head is, okay, I know she's got kids, but I still think that she reaches out to other people that she finds are important to her. Like, for example, I believe she still hangs out with Sammi and like Jenny and everybody. So why not Sam? Is it because Sam is no longer on the show? So Sam, it wouldn't be strategic to be friends with Sam. Like it wouldn't be beneficial in some kind of financial or exposure way. That is what crosses my head, right? Because the kids don't stop her from being friends with anybody else. Why only Sam in this group? So why only Sam, who's no longer on TV, right? Now, they get like in the house. Mike and Vinny were not able to be the first ones, even though Mike allegedly won this house in the sweepstakes. Which, by the way, do you actually believe that storyline? Because when they showed him scratching off the thing to win the house, it looked really fake. It didn't look like these things, which looked like real, actual like scratch offs. The other one just looked like I should have taken a picture of it, but it just looked like bogus, So naturally, you would think that the guy who won the house and who invites everybody up gets the best room, right? Well, according to Jenny, wrong. She said something about sleeping in a laundry room the last time. So as a result of that, she's decided to take the biggest room in the house, and it is gorgeous, right? It's got its own living room, it's got its own fireplace. Like she really insists on keeping this. And she's like, like someone's gonna have to fight me if they want this room. I don't care. I'm claiming it. And the producers just kept on showing this clip of when she backhanded Mike once, and I'm like, why do they keep showing that like it's funny? It's violence and it's not good, right? Like, um, especially like when you think about when that man once slapped Snooki in the face. Do you remember? I think this was season 2, maybe, or maybe it was season 1. But she was at a bar, and this guy, like for whatever reason, and it turned out he was an elementary school teacher, but he like punches her in the face, and it was so weird. Oh, he was taking their shots, he was stealing them, and Snooki was like, "No, those are our shots." And then that happened, and so they aired it one time, and then after they apologized for airing that footage, and they have never aired it again, right? So I don't understand why that was a thing when it comes to male female violence, but here, this Jenny thing, they think it's really funny and worth playing over and over again. I really didn't appreciate that. Anyway, on the topic of Jenny taking the best room in the house, I do want to ask you guys, do you think that she deserved the best room given how she was sleeping the last time that they all went away together? Or do you think she should have waited for Mike to come there so that they could discuss it? I'm pretty indifferent, especially because Mike reacted pretty well when he came by. Like, he seemed quite understanding. So if Mike is not like, flipping out over this, I'm not going to flip out for him, right? But I am just curious to know you guys' opinions on the situation. Now, after all of this, Sammi and Angelina walk into the house, and the most important, exciting thing is Sammy's return, right? So she's like, "Hey guys, sorry I'm late." Everyone's face is just like froze. Like, it's for sure they had no idea she was coming, right? Which is all the more interesting when you think about Mike trying to reintegrate Ronnie into the group, right? So I feel like that's producers pushing him to do that, knowing that Sammy's coming back, which I don't think is all that ethical, right? Because it was a DV relationship. So I think that they're shady for that. And I think that Mike actually felt kind of guilty for like secretly hiding the fact that Ronnie's coming, and he's like, oh, he probably felt like a producer's pet, or like he, not pet, but played by the producers now that he realizes Sammy's here. And that might be why these people are trying to push Ron onto him and the group again. So just look at Vinny. Look at his face. He is stunned. Mike as well. I think I have a shot of, no, this wasn't them being shocked, Jenny and Snooki. This is them talking to Sammi when she arrived. But I do have a pan away shot of Snooki and just how like she was floored when Sammi walked in. Like, nobody even said a peep. They all just sat there or stood there with their mouths wide open, which is like, same guys, same. I would have had the exact same reaction if someone came back for the first time after like 10 years. It's like you've seen a ghost. You don't even know where to start with them. So Polly wasn't here at this point. He actually comes much later. So I'm going to show you what they did to surprise Polly with Sammi when she came. So they wanted to surprise him because there was a season where he brought like a blow up doll, and he like surprised them, tricking them that it was Sam when it was obviously not. It was just a doll. And he put like some kind of sound thing in it where it would say Sammy's like catchphrases like "Ron, stop" and things like that. So they had her crouch behind the island, and then she pops out and he is stunned as well. It was really cute. I love their little family dynamic. So it's really nice to be able to jump back into the show and see how all of that kind of like unfolds. And now immediately what happens is, oh, by the way, the girls, Dina, Snooki, Jenny, they were all crying, and it was really sweet. And it's funny because all these girls were talking crap about Sam, right? And how Sam blocked them and turned her backs on them. But all of that went away as soon as Sam came back. Like, it seemed like there was always some underlying love, but hurt on both sides, but like genuine love there. Jenny surprised me the most because I don't think Jenny and Sam ever truly got along like that. So for her to be emotional about Sam's return was really like interesting. I was not expecting that, right? And then when Dina was crying, I'm like, Dina, why are you crying? She wanted to be friends with you, but you ghosted her. Like, what is this, honey? What are you talking about, right? So Angelina, she really thought she had an ally in Sam. Like, that's the whole reason why she brought her this photo, like to fix it perfectly. But basically everybody, like Sam, she was very effective, right? Like, she's like, all right, let's get to these beefs, right? I want to squash these. Snooki, you did this with my boutique. You copied my boutique, blah, blah. I was hurt. They hashed that out. She unblocked Snooki. Then she goes in on Jenny. Hash it out. Dina, you ghosted me. Dina's like, well, I've got kids. I'm a bad texter. I'm sorry, but I'm a bad texter for 4 years. I got kids. Not good excuse. I'm sorry. Having kids and like claiming to be a bad texter. You don't ditch your friend for 4-5 years without ever checking in to see if they're even alive or how they're doing. Like, it's stupid to me. I wouldn't have accepted that as an excuse personally. I think Dina only wants to have TV friends, to be honest with you. And so Angelina, as Sam is going down the line, making up with everybody, Angelina is just more and more shook and like panicking because she really thought Sam was going to continue to like to hate the girls and hold out grudges the way that she holds grudges. And so she's like, what the hell? Like, if it were me, like they would still be beefing with me, blah, blah, blah. So, and then not only that, but when Angelina came back to the show after her long hiatus, she didn't get a warm welcome. In fact, Jenny was like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, it was so rude, right? So, by the way, you guys, I will have to do a deep dive to figure out why people hate this lady so much. I know she was annoying and like trashy, like season 1, but like, weren't they all like, why do they hate her so much year after year? It's just so funny to me. Or maybe it's like kind of like a running bit now, because even Vinny, he says that like he actually likes Angelina, and they just have this kind of like jokey, like pretend that we hate each other or pretend that I hate her sort of dynamic. By the way, speaking of whose side and dynamics, whose side are you on when it comes to Snooki versus Sammi in the Battle of the Beach Boutique? Like, should Snooki have given Sammi a heads up that she was going to open her boutique at the beach? Or was Sammi being too territorial about the beach? Like, should she have reached out to Snooki instead of blocking her? Like, I'm curious. I see both sides here, right? It's kind of like, well, Sam, you don't even really speak to us anyway. Why am I going to reach out to you about this if we don't even talk about day-to-day life? And then on Sammy's thing, it's like, okay, well, this has nothing to do really with your store. Why are you suddenly here? So I get it. Now, yeah, but that's pretty much it, you guys. That's pretty much how it all kind of goes down this episode. It wasn't like that popping, right? Because it was mainly like them driving up to the cabin and whatnot. It's absolutely stunning, by the way. So we didn't really get too much action, but I think that all of that is going to start right now that everybody's here. And don't forget, Crazy Ronnie is coming up too, which means that things are really, truly about to pop the hell off. I'm nervous for Sam. I hope it's not too shocking to her system when she sees this guy who used to treat her terribly, like abuse her literally, come back on the show. I hope she doesn't feel set up or anything like that, or re-traumatized by it all. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it all goes down. What about you guys? What did you think about like episode 2 of Jersey Shore Family Vacation? Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.